Afternoon. It's already been a long day. Actually, we've done a long day of bush hogging here at the fire station again, but there's a new thing today. You'll see a little bit of uneven terrain up there and some really rough stuff right in here. I'll see if we can get down low and you can kind of, it's still kind of hard to tell, but you got like a hole here, dips in, very uneven out through there. And although the field looks like a flat field, when you see us in the tractor, you'll see boom, boom, boom. I mean, there's just lots of bumpy stuff in there. So this was a perfect testing ground for the new thing. And this has been here since July, but bada bing. Man, I've already got it dirty before I took the first picture, but this is a soil conditioner from Quick Attach right there. Thank you, Bo, from Quick Attach. Actually, great communication during the whole process of getting this ordered and built and everything with it. Basically, I've got this thing raised up all the way now so we can just show a few more things in it. But basically, this is kind of like a grader in a way, where we have trailing wheels. And when I lower this to the depth I want, this is going to grind off high spots and hopefully take it to the low spots and keep doing that until you get really an even terrain. You can adjust the trailing wheels. I'm not sure their technical term for them, but that gives you the follow along that maintains a distance or a line between the bottom of that wheel and the bottom of that tire. So it just depends on where this grinder is at, above that line, just on the line, or below that line, is whether you're taking soil, digging, and it's just if there's a a divot below that line, it's going to take some of that material and fill it in and then keep going over it many times. But it's a heavy piece of equipment. Everything's secured well and all that. I do not have the connectors yet for the bottom hydraulics on the Quick Attach, or excuse me, on the triple stack hydraulics here. That goes to this hose, so this will allow this thing to pivot. And so as it tumbles, now this is grinding forward, I should say this way. So it's actually grinding forward and coming over with a lip, adjustable lip that's there to keep it from going. You kind of see some of the already wrapping up some vines and stuff in it, but there's a lot of grass here. But it will allow a pivot, and then it'll kind of tumble over rocks to one side, so you could windrow the rocks. You could go the opposite direction on the other path, windrow those rocks to the center, use a skeleton bucket or something on the loader, if you've got that on it, to come through and collect up the rocks in the center, and then back to center for just grinding. So I've already come through here, and you can already see where it chose, that sounds mystical, it chose the part that was below the line of the rear trailing wheel, the front wheel, and ground really well there. Now, here's the last question really. There are other tools out there, other implements that do roughly the same thing. You'll hear power rake, Harley rake, all kinds of different, some brands, different names for what this type of implement does. Quick Attach calls it a soil conditioner. I like that. I could take some, after I smooth, I could take some topsoil, spread it out in different ways, and then mix it with the existing soil, or just spread regular soil with it. But the question would be, why did I choose theirs? And sometimes you're trying to save $1. We only make what we make with these kind of jobs, but you also have to have stuff that's going to last. And I got to tell you, everything that I kept comparing, this drum is larger than the other manufacturers. I think it's a 10-inch drum. Bo, you can correct me on that if I'm wrong. I think it was 10-inch drum. That approach angle with a larger size drum, I think, gets a nicer dig. But also you'll notice that these carbide teeth that are welded on quite well are in a spiral pattern. So you can see it coming down and wrapping around. So as this turns, one of those spikes is always in contact with the soil. So as it turns, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one, then all of them consecutive down through there are touching the soil, grinding, which does a consistent load on the whole gearbox, chain assembly, all the way through the PTO. The ones that I saw that have a straight line, what you would get is you're going to get all of those teeth load, cut, and then load, release, until the next row loads and cuts. So I would watch a I don't know what sound effect that is, but see, kind of a chining. If you ever been on a boat and it's that kind of a chining, bouncing kind of a thing, I just didn't really like that on the machinery parts through that. And when I was thinking it'd be better with a spiral design, and then I found quick attaches. I was like, okay, these folks got it going on. But man, look at this tire. It's impressive. It was trouble lifting this thing up to get it set in place. Look at this. Everywhere I look with this piece of equipment, it is just well-built stuff. The wing plates, I mean, look at their welding quality here. I can't cut into that and see the depth and the penetration, everything on it. But I've had other implements I bought at a decent price, and when you actually started looking closer, like, that was pretty sloppy. You can still see MIG wire sticking out and stuff like that. But man, this is just good manufacturing, good quality. Everything is built up to what I would want. Was this thing cheap? No, absolutely not. Nothing else will do the job that one of these soil conditioners would do. There's just no other good implement that will do this same thing. We'll compare all that another time. Other folks have done that too, but comparing prices to other manufacturers, they're in the same price range, but to me with a much better quality machine, drum, spiral, thickness of steel, welding quality, manufacturing quality, top notch. Hats off to y'all, quick attach. But maybe you can see some shadowing in the dips over here. I'm going to go work on that for a little bit. It's a little more of just play time right now, getting used to this machine. So let me find a place to set this phone up, and we'll see what it does. Well, this is a great test of a very grassy area. You can see some lumps and things that I keep digging. I'm having to get some of the vegetation out so we get down to moving some soil with combination of it. But I think what's working best so far is go slow. Let the implement do what it wants to do. It wants to eat. Let it chew. But man, we're already getting smooth behind us. A couple passes and I'm kind of windrowing the vegetation that way. Again, I haven't hooked up the hydraulic line yet, but it's kind of doing that unhooked anyway. Occasionally kind of drifts it off to the left or to the right side. So anyway, it's working, and I'm gonna do just... Well, another good little point for the soil conditioner here is there's a hump right here ahead and a divot up there. So we're gonna start taking this hump, take it to that fill point. We're starting to get smoother over there. It's actually feeling so much better riding the tractor through there. But when I was backing up here for the first stripe, you couldn't see this, but boy, it pulled it out. So I think for prepping for, it's not just about smoothing for seeding and so on, but there may be some of the, not just rocks, but who knows what's in the top part. And at some point, that's probably going to surface with a mower, something that would have caused some damage. So I heard a little tinking sound, but Well, that was fun. It's great when an implement works even better than I think the way you expect it to. So this was just a trial day. Again, this is late in the season for this really growing back well, but it's got 2 or 3 weeks probably to reseed. But man, just coming out of this, where we had a big dip here, crown over there, a trough right in the middle, it's smooth, and driving back and forth, well, I mean, it could make it even more and more, but tremendous improvement. This will be able to mow easily with a regular mower, and we'll come back probably during February. Even when this is cut down now, it's not going to grow much more now, but once it's actually dried up, we'll probably do some control burning, get rid of some of the grass, and then do this right before spring, probably reseed a little bit, and maybe come down and go ahead and grind a couple things. It's not really going to matter down here, but the difference from driving the tractor through here, and once you get out of what's been worked on and you get back into the feeling the field and the tractor moving around, is just an amazing difference. So it's worth it. I think in the very beginning, get a field, yard, or whatever flat. I probably said this 3 or 4 times already, but just hats off to Quick Attach on this machine. Absolutely in love with it. That's the company right there. Again, talk to Bo in sales, and again, great communicator, and just tell him that Larry Does Stuff sent you. That's not going to get you a discount or anything cool, but just that's for me letting him know I appreciate making a good product. So look for more stuff with this implement along with everything else, but have an awesome weekend.